Hey there, car guys and car gals all across the Milky Way galaxy.
Nice.
Yeah. Your subscription service has just delivered you yet another...
Kevin, another piffling episode of V8 Radio.
Piffling?
Piffling, yes.
Are we piffled? Piffled off? What the heck does piffling mean?
Piffling is nonsense as trivial or senseless talk.
Oh my God, it took us 126 episodes to find that.
Nail it! Nailed it!
All right. And tune in next time.
That's our show, everybody.
Yeah, we piffled away all your time, and it's done. All right. Well, this is the V8 Radio podcast, as piffling as it may be. I'm your host, Kevin Ostie, joined as always by our esteemed co-host, Mr. Mike Cuball Clark.
What's a good word, man?
Wearing his hoodie over there.
Yeah, man. It's a little chilly in the garage tonight.
Yeah. We've got this this seesaw of weather, if you will, where for us, it's bounced between 80 to like the 20s during the day for highs recently. And it's not letting up. It's like in the 40s today, the 24 on Saturday, and then like 79 next Tuesday.
Good heavens. Yeah, ours hasn't been that great. We've had this past Saturday, we've had about 65 degrees, and it was the best day ever. But the best since then was about maybe 50 that we've had other than that 65. But
yeah. And if you're listening to this, having never lived in a colder climate, it's a thing, man. I remember, so I grew up, in a Chicago suburb, so further north than where you are now, but that kind of weather.
Right.
And I'll never forget it, in high school when your buddies finally got their driver's licenses. I was like the last one, but in the springtime, that first 50-degree day.
Oh, you're running around with tank tops and shorts on.
Yeah, windows down, heat on, Van Halen cranked.
Yes.
And your old man's Pontiac 6000 front wheel drive.
Thinking you're the Lord of all creation.
Oh yeah, my buddy Steve, his dad had a Pontiac 6000.
Is that right?
Yeah, we used to call it the Six Grander.
Nice. Very good.
It was white, blue interior, four-door.
I think that was the Pontiac version of the Chevy Citation. Is that
Celebrity.
Correct? Celebrity.
Yeah, and the Buick, I guess it was the Skylark at that point. No, Century, Buick Century.
Yes. Okay.
And Olds, they were everywhere. What was it? The darn Cutlass Sierra?
It could be. It's about that, maybe the same. It certainly wasn't a 98.
No. It was the small front driver, so Cutlass Sierra.
Yeah, it got to be Sierra, yeah.
Good times.
Yeah, just the high point of General Motors manufacturing.
I'll never forget the sound of that GM Delco stereo, because it was the first double-din factory.
Oh, right.
With the green LED clock display like a microwave.
Yeah.
And the two vertical knobs, the volume on top and tuning on the bottom on the left-hand side, and the cassette deck, and like a 5-band EQ in there.
Oh, you thought you were something.
It sounded good, and I remember when Van Halen's OU812 came out in 88.
Yeah.
That was on permanent repeat in the Six Grander.
Nice.
Yeah, it was. You know what else is nice?
Trivia questions?
Well, sure, that too. Yes, so here on V8 Radio, if you stayed with us this long, you reap the benefits of our automotive trivia competition, which has no benefit.
No winners, all losers.
No, and we ask these stymieing questions in the beginning of the show and give each other the entire episode to ponder. Well, no, you're going to answer right away, and then you stew until the end of the episode.
Just gnawing on your fingers.
To find out who is victorious. So have you, in fact, prepared a trivia question, my friend?
Yes, sir, I have. This one's going to be quick and easy, Kev. What company is the world's largest tire manufacturer?
Holy mackerel. Now, is this the manufacturer of the world's largest tire?
No.
Or the
No. What company produces the most tires every year? The better way to phrase that question.
Yeah. Well, let's see here. So there's only like, I was going to say there's only like 2 tire companies left because it seems like they've all conglomerated and merged together. But then there's a whole bunch of European and Korean and Chinese tire companies that are not part of the conglomerations. So I really don't know. I was going to say Goodyear, and then I was going to say maybe Michelin, and then
Strong guesses.
yeah, but something tells me it's not going to be that popular of a brand. Like it's going to be, whoever makes, Kelly Springfield was like one of these companies is a parent company that makes like all the brands. I don't know. Because you've got Falcon, and you've got Toyo, and you've got Nitto, and you've got
Kumos.
Kumo.
Yeah.
You got Bridgestone Firestone and that whole deal.
Yeah.
Of course, your Goodyears. You got your Goodrich, which is different from BF Goodrich, I think.
Is it? I don't know.
Yeah, well, the BF Goodrich, like the radial TAs that we know, that's kind of a boutique tire brand.
Yeah.
And you do have, BF Goodrich off-road tires and, whatnot. So, yeah, they're still out there. And then, of course, you got General.
Yeah.
And General's got a pretty strong product line. I don't think they're the biggest tire manufacturer in the world, but they've been around. Continental. Continental's been around over 100 years. Yeah, that's right. I'm going to say, wow. I'm going to say it's a toss-up between Michelin and Continental. And I'm going to go Michelin.
Michelin.
It's not General. It's not Uniroyal. It's not the Phillips 66 wide action. Like the picture I posted the other day.
Right. Nice. All right. Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I can think of more tire companies the more we talk, but nobody cares. So I think it's going to be Michelin, my final answer.
Cool. All right. Duly noted,
All right.
sir.
Okay. All right, I got one for you.
Lay it on me.
Why is it called a panhard rod?
That would be a panhard bar, sir, is what I call it.
Why is it called a panhard bar in the Clark household?
Okay, a panhard bar. Why is it called? So a panhard bar is used to kind of keep the chassis stable under the body of a car for lateral movement, and it's typically attached to the rear differential and then attached to the frame of the car, and to keep things centered. There's different designs. There's like a single panhard bar, there's a double bar, depending on what your use is.
Double bar, I think, is something else.
Is it? Okay, well, forget I
think
said that.
that's a Watts link.
It is a Watts link. Thank you. Gosh dang it.
But that's
Holy
a different
smart.
trivia question.
Yeah, thanks. Why do they call it a Watts link? Okay, so why is it called a panhard bar is what he is asking. Because, oh man,
Think of what it does.
yeah,
And then I could say, think of why is the sky blue? Or
yeah. Thanks. That's just big a help.
Right.
Okay, it's. There's a dashboard answer coming up right now.
All right, because I
man.
was just hearing fingers getting ready to touch the skip button on their
Yeah.
devices.
Let's listen to NPR, man. Come on.
Yeah, exactly. Kelly gave me some good feedback on the hemming and hawing.
Oh, did she? She's
Yeah,
like, you got to knock that off.
She's impatient by nature.
Yeah.
She's like, just answer the question.
Okay.
And I said, sometimes you don't know. You gotta.
You got to sound it out. You got to let it go, let it flow through.
That's it, man. You gotta tap into your inner whatever.
Your inner Panhard bar.
I wouldn't be tapping that right now.
All right. So why is it called a Panhard bar? Okay, because this is going to be great. Because it is reminiscent of a panhandle.
Okay.
And it is not soft, but it is hard. So it's a Panhard bar.
Awesome.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just killing it. Killing it today.
Pan
Oh.
hard.
And I wanted to do this. Oh, Jesus.
I know you did. There you go. All right, that's your final answer.
Oh, good Lord. Yes. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Pan hard. Okay. Well, we'll find out at the end of the show, folks.
Wouldn't it be great if I was right, though? Holy
would.
cow.
It really would be.
Yeah.
It might be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might be, too.
Yeah. Interestingly, I went and enjoyed some dinner tonight
Yeah.
at a local restaurant called Pie Hard,
Oh.
which is different from Pan Hard,
Yeah.
but it's a local pizza place.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
So we have, again, a lot going on.
Yeah. You got things happening, man. You got announcements to make.
Well, one is that if anybody is kind of going to be in the Midwest and more focused in the St. Louis area, V8 Speed and Resto is having a little open house and sale.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So this all started because we have a lot of customers who ship us cars,
Uh-huh.
and we work on them, and then at the end, we have leftover parts.
Mm-hmm.
So in the beginning, we always ask them, what would you like us to do with the takeoff parts? And some is garbage,
Right.
rusty panels, and others are, could be reused or sold or something. And a lot of times people say, well, I got to put this car in a transporter and I don't care about the old sun visors, so forget it, keep it, donate it, throw it out, do whatever. So we've been pretty consistently donating engines and transmissions to a local tech school.
Oh, nice. That's cool of you.
Yeah, it is pretty neat. It gives the students something cool to wrench on, and some of these things, are decent serviceable engines that we're just taking out for upgrades.
Yeah.
But then a lot of the other parts we start accumulating because they're too nice to throw away.
Yeah, exactly.
But in order to sell an individual part, you got to photograph it. You got to figure out what it is. You got to write up a listing. Then you got to list it somewhere. And then you got to interact with potential buyers. And then you got to figure out a payment method. And then you got to box it and ship it and all that. So the pile just gets bigger because nobody has time to do all that. So every couple of years we have kind of a house cleaning, and we're going to unload a whole bunch of stuff.
Cool.
And more than welcome to come down on April 16th.
April 16th. Okay. I came down to one of those long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, you did. I remember that. That was
Yeah.
like that was your first time down there.
It was. It was absolutely my first time down there. Yeah, that was pretty neat.
Well, this is going to be about 5 times bigger than that one.
Awesome. That'll be sweet. That'll be great.
So we'll put something up on the V8 Speed and the V8Speedshop.com website. You'll find that. So yeah, that's happening.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be good to get down there and mingle and see the crew and
That's right.
see everybody again. It's been a hot minute.
Well, and speaking of that kind of thing in events, we've also announced that we are going to be bringing back the drive-in cruise event.
Hot darn. That's awesome.
Darn. Yeah, we're excited about that. So the drive-in cruise, we've done this. We did it 5 years in a row, and then the COVIDs happened, and things got kind of wonky last year too. So this year we said, heck, we're just going to do this again.
Good.
And it's a car show at the drive-in. There's a local drive-in not far from us. The Belleville Skyview is what it's called, and we're actually ratcheting it up a couple of notches this year because we're doing it on a Saturday night.
Very cool, man.
Yeah. So initially, the proprietor of the drive-in said, we approached him. Really, the whole thing was kind of self-serving. I always wanted to have a car show at a drive-in. I just thought that'd be cool. And it turns out other people thought it was cool too. So the first time he's like, yeah, you could do this on a Thursday because I got real movies to show on the weekend and, whatever. So, okay, fine. Well, I think last time we had over 400 cars.
Yeah. Great crowd. I think I was at the last one.
You were.
Showed the Blues Brothers, yeah.
Right. Yeah. You and Paul came down.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. It's a lot of cars. So, and a lot of people said, hey, if you do this on a Saturday, I'll be able to come out. Thursday night I got to go to work in the morning, or I got, the kids got something going on. So we reapproached the proprietor of the drive-in and said, dude,
how about it?
What's it going to take, to do this on a Saturday? So he basically just kind of doubled his fee because we rent the place.
Yeah, I guess he can do that.
And then the pittance we charge at the gate. It's a one price for the whole car. So if you got 10 people in the car, it's the same price as if you come by yourself. So bring your friends. It's $20 for everybody, and that gets you a goodie bag, and it also gets a raffle ticket for some pretty serious prizes.
Really?
Well, in the past, we gave away a full set of Toyo tires.
Ooh.
We gave away a Bear Brakes Remaster billet master cylinder.
Oh, right. Yeah.
We've given away Dakota Digital gauge sets and cruise control kits and lots of stuff. I think we had, 10 or 12 grand, 15 grand worth of prizes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's very cool.
It is cool. And it's because we work with, a lot of great companies that also think this is fun. So they contribute that stuff. So for the entrance price, it's worth it. But this year being on a Saturday, we can actually do the double feature if we want.
Yeah.
So we can start it a little bit earlier and we can run 2 movies. We might start this in the middle of the day and do some kind of maybe a swap meet kind of thing or some displays.
Oh, yeah.
Could do that. Might have a band. I don't know. Who knows? And then the other thing that we want to evolve into is the Skyview's got 2 screens. And in the past, the first couple of years, we had everybody looking at one screen, and that was that. Yeah. And the last time, it was big enough to where we had to show the film on 2 screens because we had people in both sides. So I think what we're going to do this year, you can't please everybody. You can please a lot of them.
Right. Yeah, it's no one's going to like the same movie.
Right. So a lot of the feedback we got was, you guys show old movies. And a lot of more. We showed American Graffiti. We showed Bullet, which of course is, from the 60s. And then
they're classics. They're not old.
They are classics. But if you were born in the past 20 years, you have no idea what these films are.
They don't mean a whole lot to you. Yeah.
You don't have much of a connection. So I think we're going to take the second screen and do a pair of more modern films.
Okay.
So we'll have those who want to see something from that classic school of old car films on the one, and then if you're just by example, a Fast and Furious guy, or maybe I consider like, Talladega Nights or something like that to be a newer film, that a lot of people know. Maybe those will be on the other screen and we'll be able to satisfy and attract more people to come to the big party.
Yeah, man. That'll be solid. You should get what's that band from SEMA, the Las Vegas band.
Oh my gosh, yeah, Patrick and the
Las Vegas band, yeah, the LVB, yeah. Get those guys out here.
That would be stellar.
Yeah, man.
Woo. Those guys are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Did I told you what they did for me this year? At the SEMA reveal on Monday night.
You did, but
so
remind me again.
Patrick and the LVB is one of the hottest bands in Vegas, and they play all kinds of stuff. They've got some casino gigs, but they've got other private gigs and parties and their own concerts. And it's a big band. They got horns, they got keys, they got they got everything, and they can play absolutely anything. And they've been kind of the house band for SEMA for the past couple of years now, which is great because we work together very well. We know each other, and it was pretty cool because Monday night is the SEMA Monday night reveal, and they're the band on stage. It's kind of like that late night talk show kind of feel with the world's most dangerous band over there.
Right, man.
And they're going over their set list, and this thing's going to start in an hour. And I was talking to Patrick, and I said, "You guys good to go?" And they said, "Yeah." And I said, "Hey, I'm not asking, but I'm just curious if you're familiar with a certain song." And they're like, "What is it?" And I grabbed the song off YouTube on my phone, and I forward it to Patrick. And the song is a song that I really dig. I've liked it for a long time, and I thought it'd be really cool if they knew it, and if they were free to deviate from their playlist, because their set list is probably approved by SEMA Muckety Mucks and whatnot. Right. If there was an opportunity to slip this thing in, it was just kind of a fantasy. It's a song called Daydream by Freddie Jones Band.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, great song.
Great song. Good band.
Yeah. In fact, we should make that the cruising song of the show.
There we go.
Or one of them.
Yeah.
So go look that up. Freddie Jones Daydream. So Patrick's like, yeah. No, I never heard it.
What?
Oh, man, really? And, it's came out in 91, I guess, 92, and they didn't know it. So, okay, cool. That's fine, So I leave. I change into the tuxedo for the event. I come back, and Patrick looks at me and he goes, "We got you." And I said, "What?" And he's like,
man.
"Yeah, you just, when this thing kicks off, you'll know." So time clock goes down, and boom, the band starts, and they're playing the intro to Freddie Jones in a Daydream. And they're killing it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And those guys learned it in less than an hour.
Good heavens. Wow, that's talent.
And then modified it a little bit to be a good intro walkout song,
Okay, yeah.
So I came out on the stage, and I'm looking at everybody, and it's a beautiful night in Vegas, and one of my all-time favorite songs is playing with this great band and all these cool people around, these awesome cars, and I almost started crying.
Oh, jeez. Oh, man, that's solid, man. I love it.
I'm not going to lie, because it was like, it's a lot to put that event together and to get focused, and you're preparing for it for weeks, and and here it is, and it's this big release, and then they do that. I was like, oh man. So that was cool.
That is solid.
That would be great if they could play.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to raise the ticket price of the cars.
just a little bit.
That
At
whole thing I
least
said
$2
about
more
$20
per car. Yeah.
Yeah, now it's 100.
Yeah.
Because they don't come cheap because they're good.
Yeah, no doubt. It's a big travel expense too.
Hey, I'll ask. I'm batting 1,000. I ask for stuff and I get it from this guy. So
there you go. All they can do is say no.
That's right.
That's the worst that can happen. Sorry, Kev, can't make it. Can't do it, bub.
Yeah, no, watch. I offend them and they choose not to play SEMA next year.
No.
This
believe
fall.
what this guy did?
Yeah, right.
He wanted us to go out to Chicago and play a gig?
Crazy.
No,
I think they would think it's cool.
Yeah.
That's a great idea. So
Thank
there
you.
you go. We'll throw that in the mix too. Who knows?
All right, dig it.
So yeah, that's going to be August 20th of this coming August. And tickets are available on the website. Again, go to driveincruise.com. I have no idea what films we're going to show because we always throw a poll out to the masses and let people vote and pick. So that has started. We're getting a lot of good suggestions.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
I threw my 2 cents in there.
You threw like 4 films in there.
Yeah. Well,
More than 2 cents.
yeah. Well, 3 cents anyway. There we go. Couple 2-3 cents.
Yeah, that was cool. So looking forward to that. So yeah, a lot happening.
Very cool. Very cool.
So I was going through some texts and emails and whatnot, just because.
Mm-hmm.
And I found this message from our official V8 radio statistician, Mr. Yardley.
Yes.
And he had a topic suggestion, which is great. Wide open to topic suggestions, by the way.
Yes.
Except for, you have the right to remain silent. We don't. Like my old man said, I'm so proud of you for getting a job in radio because now I can turn you off.
Right on. Thanks, Dad.
That's it. Yeah. I can get out of range. So Yardley says, yo, Kevin, I'm not sure if this would fly, but how about a show theme where you discuss what the car hobby has given back to its members? I met one of my best friends when I was in my 40s because of it, a guy named Ken Lisk, who's a big Buick guy. Yards was even his best man.
Wow.
And he reminded me that I met my wife doing this stuff, and I've got a whole career and life out of it. He said, I wonder if you could set up a thread on the Facebook group so people could tell you and then discuss it later on. Just a thought. I know the hobby has literally changed people's lives. So I think it's a tremendous topic.
It is a tremendous topic.
I didn't set up the Facebook thread. I think we'll do it afterwards.
Okay, perfect.
Because we'll leave it open. If anybody's got a story about how this has changed their life or helped them or created friendships or whatnot, let's hear about it, because this has happened so many times and in so many ways to me that I don't know if this happens in other. I don't think it happens as much in other hobbies or careers or whatnot.
Yeah, it really, this whole car hobby really does seem to bring people together, and you do meet lifelong friends. I mean, you met your boy.
That's right.
Through this,
at a car show watching our stuff.
Greatest thing that ever happened to you is you met me.
It is. Otherwise, I'd be in my garage talking to myself right now.
And that would just be sad.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean, I've I get to do this for Pete's sake. I get to be on this great podcast and get to hang out and met tremendous people. I'm still connected with a guy. I mean, this is more thanks to social media, but still connected to a guy that I was in my very first car club, which was the Central Oklahoma GTO Club in 1989. For Pete's sake.
That's cool.
Yeah, it really is. And he
It's
sold me.
thing.
I traded him my '67 GTO for his '66 Sprint 6 Le Mans, and that's how I got that Le Mans, was through this guy.
That's how that all started.
Yeah, man.
From being a member of the COG2.
Yes.
The Central Oklahoma GTO.
GTO.
Right? COGTO.
Yes.
COG, yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
that's cool. And that's the thing. And part of me says that, we lose track of how fast time goes. Mm-hmm. And pretty soon you meet somebody at a cruise night or something. And next thing you know, it's 15 years later. Yeah. And you're still buddies. You still see them at the cruise. And, I get that a lot. I think our biggest thing for Kelly and I is, we met because my car broke on the Hot Rod Power Tour. But more importantly, on that trip, I was trying to do the math. That was the Power Tour where my 62 Galaxy, my dad threatened to have the thing towed and crushed unless I fixed it. And I kind of got it back together after he had wrecked it, and we did kind of a resto on it. And it was a clearly unproven quantity. So what do? You hit the road, right? Drive it across country.
Of course.
And just about everything that could break broke. And by the way, it was my work vehicle because I was shooting Hot Rod TV at the time, and I needed it to get from one city to the next. And this is back when the Power Tour went all the way across country, so it was important to fix it instead of just park the thing and say I'll get this later.
Right.
Which would have been smart, but I also would have not met my wife, so it's good that I was kind of thick-headed. or as Roe McGonigal said, he was editor of Hot Rod at the time, and he wrote a piece about this, and the title was Head Poured from Concrete.
I understand that completely.
Yeah, but I was trying to do the math and think of how many people helped us out on that trip alone. And I will say it's over 100.
Holy cow. That's amazing.
Because it was not just, a guy on the side of the road with a screwdriver or duct tape or something. I mean, we replaced all the rod bearings in this car overnight in Flagstaff in some guy's garage that I didn't know, and working with other people that I've never met who were just on the Power Tour, and they're like, yeah, you broke, let's fix you, and so people from Flagstaff that were locals that were into cars were hanging out, and the guys that I met were all, there'd be 30, 40 people there that night. And that was just one of the failures. the Hot Rod parade of failures.
Instead of not the GM parade of progress, the Hot Rod parade of failure.
Yes. Should have got a trophy for that one.
No doubt.
But so every night along the way, we'd break something else and meet more people. So I never would have gotten home without these people helping out, first of all. But that really kind of cemented in my mind that I have automotive karma to pay back for eternity.
Oh,
because
no doubt.
all these people that chipped in to help out. So we always said, anytime we have the opportunity, we're going to give somebody a hand. And, there's just a variety of people that helped us out. I mean, we had, in Colorado, a farmer that let us use his welder in his shop and everything. I mean, just all kinds. And the farmer had nothing to do with cars. He was just in a pizza place. And
oh, no kidding.
Magnante and I and Kelly were in the pizza place. And I'm like, I got a broken air spring mount. And Steve's like, oh, yeah, well, you're going to have to fix that, because you're not going to be able to finish the tour unless you fix the spring mount. What do you think?
Oh, my gosh. He channeled through you right now. Holy cow.
Yeah, hopefully it'll wash out. And Kelly, we were, in this little town in Colorado, and Kelly's like, well, there's a farm light over there. They got everything you need. Farmers got everything. So, do you think it's safe if we go over there? I mean, I guess so, So we just said, anybody know who that farmer is? And one guy's like, yeah, I know the guy. I'll take you over there. And drove us down, knocked on the door. Yeah, what do you need? A welder and some 18 gauge. Yeah, there's a pile over there. Go ahead. So we made some mounts. And
nice, man.
So all those little experiences, really cemented the fact that we had firsthand experience of how great people are. Mm-hmm. And when we, even today, if we go down the road somewhere and you see an old car on the side of the road, we stop.
Yes.
Just about every time. If they've got 4 or 5 other people there and it looks like it's under control, then, we might move on just for safety. But somebody sitting there by themselves or whatever, my Galaxy, I always have a toolbox in the back because I've learned from that trip. And, we've helped all kinds of people with little stuff or bigger stuff. And it all kind of culminated to a degree when the Hot Rod Power Tour actually came, and Drag Week came through Red Bud, Illinois, right past our shop's front door, which even saying that now doesn't sound like it's even possible.
Right. I mean, how perfect is that? I mean, that's beautiful that it came through.
Yeah, it really was. So we're not far from Gateway, Worldwide Technology Raceway is what it's called.
Right.
Formerly Gateway Motorsports Park. By the way, the Worldwide Technology people are doing an awesome job with that place.
Are they?
all kinds of cool stuff to do. Oh yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Oh,
All
good.
year
I'm glad to
round.
hear that.
They even do a holiday light thing in the wintertime.
Really?
So yeah, the track's closed, but you can still go there and do stuff.
Cool.
Yeah. So anyway, Power Tour, their stop was there, and then Drag Week actually competed there. But when the Power Tour came through town, the organizers needed to get from the St. Louis area to, I guess, Memphis. And I guess both of those trips went to Memphis next. And a good way to get there is to take scenic Route 3, rural Route 3 in Illinois, and that's basically what our shop is on. Our address is Main Street because Route 3 turns into Main Street in Redbud where our shop is, and then it turns back into 3.
Nice.
So I think it was, 2014? I guess 14, 15 maybe, when the Power Tour people, now I hadn't worked there in a long time, but I still knew a lot of the event organizers and people that run the events. The automotive events world's pretty small, so I'm fortunate to have worked with a lot of these different people. But they were going to do their pre-run, and they came right down Route 3, and they're like, ooh, this little town of Redbud, Illinois is pretty cool. It's picturesque, you know. It seems to be kind of car friendly. So they drove past and called me, and they said, hey, do you and they put it interestingly. They said, yeah, we just drove past the front of your shop. And I said, well, why didn't you stop in? And they said, well, we're planning a route for something, and we had to keep going.
Uh-huh.
And they said, you can kind of figure out what it is, because it's a big secret, you know, obviously, where the route's going to be, especially for Drag Week. So sure enough, you know, a couple months later, I find out that they want to bring the Hot Rod Power Tour through town, which is, you know, at that point, it was 3,500 cars, 3,300 cars. And so I went to City Hall, and I gave a presentation to City Council and to the Tourism Board and to all the sheriffs up and down Route 3 and emergency people, trying to warn them that you're going to get thousands of hot rodders through here. The Chamber of Commerce was there, and I said, make sure all the doors are open. Make sure, you know, these people are going to be thirsty. They're going to need gasoline. They're going to, you know, some of them are going to have problems.
Right.
So Redbud rolled out the red carpet, man, and we opened all of our doors, and we told our crew, anybody who pulls in with any problem, just fix it. That's it. You know, people have taken care of us. It's our turn to help people out.
That's amazing that you're still giving back to this great community. That's you're to be commended, sir.
Well, I mean, and I still feel on the owing side of that, you know.
Yeah.
But it's cool because one of the first cars that pulled in, the guy had a problem with a 55 Chevy, a very nice car, and he had broken his throttle cable. It was like a low car or a cable, aftermarket cable, and it failed. And he had a pretty ingenious thing. He had retrofitted a nylon line from a weed whacker.
Nah, no kidding.
Yeah, so it was this bright orange, you know, plastic thing was his throttle cable, and so he pulls in, and Trevor pops the hood and looks at it and says, "Well, we've got one of those cable setups over there," so we just replaced the whole thing for him and got it adjusted and sent him on his way, you know. And then another car pulled in, and it was Brian Cox, who actually worked for Hot Rod, and he had a new Camaro at the time that had a bunch of stuff done to it, and some just kind of came loose in the front suspension, so we because it had sway bars and control arms put on it and all kinds of stuff. So got that all tightened up and on the way, and you know, there was a few more of those little kind of quick fixes. And then a few months later, when Drag Week came through, the first one we heard is that the 6 Seconds car, Tom Bailey's car, had fried the alternator because it had redundant electrical systems, because they were racing it at 24 volts.
Oh, okay.
And then they were driving on the highway at 12. And that was causing problems, and so they were stuck. Well, they ended up landing right in front of our local John Deere dealership, so those guys took care of them. But then I get a call saying, hey, there's this cream-colored 56 Chevy on the side of the road that needs a hand. And it turned out to be Joe Barry, who runs, at the time, was I don't know, 7-second 56 Chevy. Yeah, it's
Holy
a
cow.
big giant nitrous motor, beautiful car.
Mhm.
And he had the same problem. He was running the high voltage system, and it fried his cooling fan.
Oh,
So he's overheating. He can't move.
right.
So I hear he needs a fan. Turns out we had one. So we brought that, gave it to him. He got that in the car and got back on the road. And that was pretty cool because that was a Fast Times engine in his
Oh,
car.
yeah.
Yeah. So I'd never met the guy, but we all knew everybody, the same
Yeah.
circle. So that was kind of fun. And then later that night, cars were going by, and eventually they start kind of petering out. It's getting darker and later. And we get wind of this guy. His name is Matt Rogers, and he's got an Oldsmobile, and he broke the crank pulley.
Ooh,
Yeah, that's bad.
that's
The
not
balancer
good.
the balancer was okay, but he had a 2-rib crank pulley, and it was broken. So, do you know anybody who's got one? And we couldn't find one, so I ended up taking I think it was a single groove pulley and his 2-groove, and I cut the two of them apart and lined them up and welded them back together, and basically remade the pulley for him.
Yeah.
And made sure that it wasn't oblong,
Right.
and that
Yeah.
and it didn't wobble, the other way. It was a pretty cool project. It was fun to do, except for the fact that we had to have this done right now because
Yeah.
he's on the road. So it held, and in fact, just this past week, I got a Facebook friend request from him.
Oh, very cool.
And he sent me pictures. He's like, I don't know if you remember me, but you fixed my pulley, and here it is.
Oh, terrific.
Yeah, and that was cool. So it's a long way of saying that, we've been very fortunate to be on the receiving end of this stuff. And to me, it's more important to be on the giving end as well, because
For sure.
I'm going to need it again. I know. And you will too.
Oh, are you kidding me?
We all
Absolutely,
will.
I'll need it. Oh my gosh, I've gotten so much help with this GTO. Just I owe for the rest of my life on all the help I've gotten. And you came up just to help out when we were trying to get the engine put back in.
Yeah,
And
but I really
all of
didn't do anything.
The help with the parts that you've given me, and all the great advice and all that good stuff. And you even got to come up and drive the car after it was running, and gave it a nice sign of the cross.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was good stuff. And my buddy Randy, who's helped me tremendously with this project. I'll never be able to get out of debt with him. Mm-hmm. I'll be in his debt forever. I mean, he's been tremendous. And his neighbor Scott, we've used some stuff at his garage, his next door neighbor, and this other cat with a blaster that we took our parts over there to blast parts that needed it. And it's been just, everyone's been so open to help this charity case that you're looking at right now to help get things going again.
Well, and the coolest thing about it is we're using words like debt and owe and payback, but really that's just doing more cool stuff.
Yeah.
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 If a friend needs a hand putting an engine in, well, that's fun. I'm going to go do that. It's not like
That is fun.
It's
Yeah.
not like I have to go mow 1,000 lawns or something, or do some horrible task that nobody
Right.
wants to do. It's like, no, everybody wants to do that stuff.
Yes.
So helping somebody out is always challenging, and it's fun. And the side benefit is that people are gracious and you make friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. For sure. All day.
Yeah. So I think it's a great topic, and yes, careers have been spawned out of it, and just lifelong connections and friends, and I'm glad Yardley brought it up, because he's another guy who has helped me out tremendously, because he's kind of like the unofficial king of the do-it-yourself Riv crowd.
Yeah.
With his Buick, he's one of those guys that, and I know he's listening, and I mean this in the best way, but he's one of those guys that just by nature has to do things the hard way.
Okay.
Obstacles just pop up for this poor guy, and it's like, oh man, really? And he's persistent as hell, and he'll get it done. But it's just, time that things don't go smoothly, and that's
But he
just how
pushes
things
through.
go.
Yeah,
he does. He does a
yeah.
great job. I mean, he told me. So here's a guy in his home garage, and it's a big car and a 455 Buick. In his case, 460 some cubes. It's a big, heavy engine, and he was blowing up transmissions, turbo 400s over the years. And he told me he's had the tranny out of that thing like 18 times.
Gee whiz.
And that's on his back on the floor in the garage. It's not like, he's got a lift and everything else.
And the transmission jack and all that good stuff.
But he's the first guy to say, on some of the Facebook things, and going back in the day to when I first met him was, even before the forums, it was like email lists.
Yeah.
And somebody would, you get on a news list, and somebody would say, hey, I'm looking for this piece of trim, and he'd be the first one. Hey, I got one. So I have parts on my car, and I got a couple sitting here that he had sent me just for fun. He didn't want any payment or anything. He's like, I got an extra, here you go.
Very nice. Very nice.
It is.
Yeah.
And I was, thinking back to where I met this guy, and it all went back to an article that I wrote in a magazine. It was we used to call them a one-shot. It was a standalone special edition print magazine called Suspension, Tire, and Wheel. Can you guess what it was about?
Interiors.
That's it. But this goes back to 98, I think.
Oh, boy. Okay.
And I wrote an article on, because I was rebuilding I had a 69 Riv at the time, and I rebuilt the front end and put brakes on it and control arm bushings and all that stuff, and then some wheels and tires. And the editor was a guy named Tim Burnsaw, and Tim was a great guy, and a lot of those one-shot magazines were culminated from other stories from other magazines, and they were reprinted. So you'd flip through, and it's like, oh, this story was in Hot Rod last year. Oh, this story was in Mustang and Fords. Oh, this is from Chevy High Performance, whatever. But there was very little new content.
I gotcha.
Because quite honestly, these things were designed to be low buck to produce, to repurpose stories, sell them again,
Yeah.
put ads next to them, but also make a nice, concise, singular topic magazine. And they did well. But I told him I was getting ready to do the suspension thing, and he's like, hey, do you want to shoot that and write it? Because that'd be new content for this. And, we really don't have any. And I was, sure.
Yeah.
So I think I did 8 pages.
Holy cow.
Yeah,
Nice.
it was a lot. And Tim didn't cut it all up. He left, I go back and read this stuff now, and I got to laugh, but we're all trying to be Gray Baskerville and trying to be cool,
Yeah, man.
And today, you're much more to the point, or at least I am. But so Yards bought that and read it, and then emailed me.
No kidding.
And he had questions about parts, and I guess I responded, and there you go.
There it is. Well, I'll be darned.
24 years ago.
Holy cats.
I know. And I hadn't talked to the guy probably until the mid-2000s or late 2000s. I don't know when we reconnected. Maybe it was Facebook, when Facebook came up or something. But, because it was old email addresses and just kind of went away. And then and here you go. So it's another example of, just reaching out and communicating and sharing stories and whatnot. So I appreciate that guy. And now he's our official statistician.
Yeah, he's even gone so far as to feed me a few trivia questions along the way just to stump you.
I know. It's so nice.
He's a heck of a guy. Love you, babe.
Well, just this week, we actually got a St. Patrick's Day card in the mail from him at the shop. So,
Oh, really?
yeah.
Nice.
I didn't even know St. Patrick's Day was a card.
I didn't
sending
either.
Holiday, but handwritten note. So, class act, Mr. Yardley.
Yeah, he's good people.
I've got a 1966 vintage military spec Coleman lantern on my shelf here that he gave me.
Really?
Yeah, he saw that on Facebook. I posted a thing about, I dig those old Coleman lanterns, and he gave me one just by seeing that.
Oh, that's sweet. That's very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was.
Very nice, man.
And
All
it's
right,
it's kind of funny. that's happened a couple of times. This past week, I shared some vintage Hamm's beer ads.
Yeah.
Did you see that post?
Yeah. From the land of sky blue waters.
Oh, yeah. So these are from the late 50s and early 60s. They're all, hand-painted print ads, beautiful colors, and that whole concept of the land of sky blue waters, it just sounds so, it's like a camping trip for your mouth.
It is, right?
So the day after I post that thing, sure enough, a local guy named Gary Most shows up at my shop with a 12-pack of hams. Here you go, buddy.
Oh, very nice. Very nice.
Yeah. So now I'm going to start posting pictures of a C8 Corvette and see what happens.
Of a ZR1. That's pictures everywhere.
Well, and of course, the lawn chair story from McCacken.
Right? Yeah.
Shared the picture of the lawn chair and the story how my old man had one. And the guy, brought me a lawn chair, a lounge chair that I got right over there. In fact, the other day, I was going through the internet looking for a rewebbing kit for that.
Oh, really?
That's what you used to do. You'd buy your lawn chair's aluminum frame, and after a couple of seasons of sunlight and wear, the webbed nylon straps would fray.
Yep.
And then you can unscrew the one end, and there's a little clip, and you can unwind it and re-web it.
I've never done that with one of those.
Yeah, and it was funny because some of the guys here in our little town of Waterloo, who are like a half a generation older than I am, they're like, oh, we used to do that every year, so even got offers to help with that little project.
Cool, man.
Yeah, just got to find, they're all over eBay. You can buy the rewebbing kits.
Oh, no kidding. Oh, that's cool.
And they are from the 70s. They're just, old stock, and they come in different colors. So I'm just trying to map out the colors I want for this chair, and then we'll put that back in business.
Nice. It's the perfect chair to bring with you when you go to a car show and set it up in front of your car and just kind of crab at people as they walk by.
Right. And as Baskerville used to say, and get crapped on by birds.
Yes, exactly.
But, I guess it's this whole thing is just an expression of gratitude. I mean, I appreciate all this stuff so much, and it's just an inspiration to do something nice for somebody else for no reason,
Yes.
And in fact, thinking about it, I have sent things to random people on Facebook, that I had that they were looking for or whatever, and I think I need to do more of that because it's cool. People have done that for me, and it was neat.
Yeah, that is neat. Heck, you even came up on a trip. You were either going somewhere or coming back from somewhere back before we really knew each other, and I was still a super fan on the forum, and you're like, yeah, you want me to stop by? We'll take a look at your car. I'm like,
yeah.
Seriously? It's like, yeah, we're coming through. I'm like, you got to be kidding me.
That was the first time I drove the GTO.
Yeah, it was.
You let me drive it.
And the drive shaft started knocking on the trans tunnel. I said, that never happened before. Like,
yeah.
You're jacking it up right at that cross member, aren't you? I'm like, yeah. Like, it's pushing it up. I said, oh, okay.
There you go.
Interesting.
Well,
So, yeah.
I firmly remember that first drive, and when comparing it to my last excursion in the GTO, the car has come a long way.
Yeah.
Hell of a job.
It has come a long way. Yep. It's got a little bit more to go, but it's come a long way.
You were still trying to feel out the brake conversion you did, and
yeah, everything. It's and that was still the old engine, and it was already. I'm sure the cam was already wiped out.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, so it was a mess.
It was.
It was.
So, again, if we were all like hobbyists that liked washers and dryers or something, I don't think we'd have these stories.
No. Did you see that guy's GE washer? Holy cow, man.
No, to hell with that. This guy's got a Maytag.
Maytag never breaks down.
It's one with the dials. None of this electronic board crap. The good one.
Oh, you should hear it chugging away when it's doing a load. Holy cow.
You know, we talked about SEMA a little bit before, but the SEMA show, of course, is kind of the mecca culmination of every possible enthusiast direction, from car builders and car owners to manufacturers and retailers and parts people and the whole thing. And Paul Cuniff is a guy who works for the company that puts the show on from a logistical standpoint. Mm-hmm. And Paul and I were talking one day, and he's like, this show's amazing. It's just, there's so much energy here, and people are so excited to be here. And I said, I've often joked that, you know, do the people that do the dental hygienist convention have as much fun as we do in the automotive side? And he looked at me and he laughed. He goes, no, my wife does that convention for the dental hygienist, and it's not this.
It's got to be so subdued. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. You know, it's people standing by a display for, 6 hours looking at their watch, and then as soon as the whistle blows, it's right to the bar. I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. For sure.
Just get me on the plane. I'm going home.
Yeah, I can't look at caps anymore. Get me out of here.
Yeah, get you and your teeth away from me. Yeah, so it is. It's a neat thing to be involved with, and I'm just glad it's continuing on. And we've talked about it before. Today we're in a gas problem, price wise.
Yeah.
People are talking online. Are you going to do less car events? We talked about it last time.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people that said, I don't care. I'm going to be driving my car. My car, I enjoy it. It brings me happiness. It's good for me. It's going to be a few bucks more this year. I'm going to do it.
Well, good. Right on. I need to adopt that attitude.
Well, a guy named Bill Hahn, I don't know if you know who Bill Hahn is. He owns Hahn Racecraft.
I've heard of him.
He makes turbos for a lot of four-cylinder cars. And
yes.
He's a drag bike racer, turbo bike guy, and very, very smart guy. He used to be not far from you in Illinois, and then they moved to Florida. But he did some math, and I didn't double check it, but the math was average person drives, if it's a family of two, 26,000 miles a year now. You're putting 13,000 a piece on a car a year.
Yeah.
And if the gas price went up a couple of bucks a gallon or $1 a gallon or something over that amount of driving, it ends up being, $1,100 a year more.
Okay.
That's $1,100.
Yeah.
But it's not like $6 million.
True. And it's over a full year.
If the prices stay where they're at.
Yeah.
So it sucks, but I tend to look at things financially from the negative side, like, oh my God, it's going to cost me $8 to drive my car to work and back.
Yeah.
But at the same time, spanned out over the course of the year, and the fact that I don't drive my specialty cars very often, and it's probably not going to be very much different.
Well, I filled up the Suburban the other day, and oh my gosh, I filled it up at Costco, and the pump automatically stops at $100.
Yeah,
and it stopped, and I had more to go.
Yeah.
And that was a big eye opener. I mean, when I bought this thing, gas was right around $2 a gallon, I think, and that's doable. I was all right with that. But now I'm like, oh my gosh, and I'm driving like a granny on the road. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to take the expressway everywhere I go just to keep that steady 55, which it gets the best mileage.
Hyper-miling the Suburban.
Yeah, I'm trying. I'm putting it in neutral when I stop somewhere, and holy cats, if I see a train, I'm shutting it down. Mm-hmm. I'm like, I'm not going to idle here. Are you kidding me? It's going to be like, 50 cents in gas just to sit here. Can't do it.
Yeah, and that's all true. I'm not discounting that, but I'm trying to compartmentalize, like you driving the GTO, or me driving the Riv or something. It's going to be an effect, but it ain't going to be,
Right, not the end of the world. You're right.
And you got to learn. You got to be smart. I've been telling people for years. Look at your week coming up, and say, what do I have to do this week? Well, I got to get a haircut. I got to take my shirt to the cleaners. I got to go to the gas station. I got to go to the grocery store. So rather than do each one of those individually, just plant a loop.
Do
Boom.
it all now. Yeah, I agree.
One trip, you've saved 75% of the gas. But people don't think like that in this country. They're starting to now.
Yeah. I'm coming around to your way of thinking on that. Definitely need to be more efficient with my travels.
Yeah. It takes a little bit of doing to plot ahead and go, what do I need this week or whatever. But anyway, we're just hoping it all comes back down. But at the end of the day, thanks to Yardley for the idea suggestion of sharing stories, because it's kind of what makes this whole thing. They always say it's not about the cars, it's about the people, and I think that's true.
It absolutely is about the people all day long.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just a bunch of cars sitting around and no one doing anything with them.
Right. Like our trivia questions that are sitting around.
You are the king of segues, sir. I love it.
It made no sense whatsoever.
All right, so let's unveil the answers that people are so desperately waiting for. So, Kevin, I asked you what company produces the most tires every year.
Oh,
and
yeah, right.
You said, after some back and forth with yourself, you said Michelin's. And I'm sorry to say, sir, that is not the correct answer.
Yeah, I figured.
The correct answer is the Lego Company.
You jag off twice. Once for the trick question, and two for pre-planning the sound effect, because you knew I was going to get this wrong.
So, at 318 million tires a year, Lego's in the Guinness Book of World Records for most tires produced by any company.
Yeah. Well, Hot Wheels is the biggest car company in the world. So.
And there you go.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Just so you know it's fair, I did have the winning sound effect on ready for you. If you
Let's
did
hear
win.
it. Let's hear it.
Here you go. Kevin, you're a winner.
Tell him what he's won, Johnny.
A new car.
The 1973 Pontiac Safari Wagon from the Pontiac Motor Division of General Motors, complete with wood siding, vinyl deluxe bench seat, roof rack, sport wheels, and air conditioning. This package retails for $37.95, but you won on The Price is Wrong, bitch.
Yes, sir. Oh, I love it. Love it. See, I just in case you got it right, I was ready to hit you with that.
Well, at least you proved that.
Yeah.
No magic of editing there, friends. We kind of gave up editing the show a while ago. All right. Well, why do they call it the Panhard rod or Panhard bar? And you said...
Oh, we're still doing this. Okay.
Oh, yeah, it ain't over. That was a big finish, but no. Because it is reminiscent of a panhandle, and it is not soft. Therefore, it is a Panhard.
I'm going to go now. I got to go.
Yeah, and I got to see if I can find a sound effect. The correct answer is not that.
No, really?
Unfortunately. Yeah.
Shocked.
It's hard to believe. The Panhard bar is named after the early 20th century French car company of the same name.
Really?
That's all I know.
Okay.
So there you go.
Interesting choice of a name.
Well, and you'll find them on a very exclusive product van sold exclusively in Mexico.
Would that be the Chevera?
That's it.
Ay, pendejo.
It's the Chingon.
Oh, we're going to get banned from YouTube or banned from Apple
Wherever.
Podcast.
At least we went out with a bang.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. All right, well, friends, if you like this kind of nonsense, hit the subscribe button, because
Please.
Who knows what kind of sound effects we'll have next time. Oh, man. Well, you mentioned the world record
Yeah.
of tires. We were actually thinking, I looked it up, I didn't find it, if it exists, but we might be trying to set the world record for the most hot rods in a drive-in movie theater
Really?
at the drive-in cruise this year.
That's awesome.
I think it'd be kind of cool.
That
Yeah.
would be kind of cool.
I have
Yeah,
not
yeah.
found if that's a record or not. And if
Okay.
it's not, it's easier to win, easier to do.
Oh, by the way, I have to give credit for this wonderful trivia question that I asked you to our good friend of the show, Mr. Alex Gerhard, who supplied us with that question.
Makes sense. Mr. Gerhard's doing a lot with Legos these days.
Yes, he is. He's doing a lot with Legos these days. He's got a Titanic, I think, and all kinds of other really good stuff.
He's got a used tire shop over there.
Yeah, I think he's got a couple million of those tires.
Oh, man. All right, Alex, you'll get yours too. Thank you for that.
Nice.
Yeah. If you have any trivia question ideas, don't send them to Mike. And
That's Mike at v8radio.com.
yeah, nice. All right, man. Well, this has been fun.
It has been.
That's all I got. So I guess no matter who made your tires, make sure they got air. And if they don't, hopefully somebody nice meets you on the side of the road to help you out.
Right on.
For Mr. Mike Q-Ball Clark, I'm Kevin Ostie saying keep the shiny side up, and we will talk to you next time on VA Radio.